Hey guys, so for this video, it's gonna be the third video. It's after the two videos of me in the hospital. And I'm gonna be talking about an experience that happened to me at the hospital that was just like mind-blowing. Like honestly, no one, I mean absolutely no one can tell me that God's not real and angels are not real. So I was at the hospital. It was like the second week when I was in the hospital. I had to do these breathing tests, and every time I would have to breathe in it, and it was like a container that had the numbers 1 to 10 on it. So every time I would breathe, there was like this little indicator that would like reach out to a specific number. The doctors really wanted to get to number 10. So yeah, I would always get a 3 every time I did the breathing test. That meant that I kept on feeling like my breathing was so bad. So I would have to do this like every 2 hours. A nurse would come and she would have to check my breathing. I did test like multiple times that day, and it was around the evening time. It was around the evening time I was supposed to do the test, and then this nurse came, and I'm like, oh, she's new because every day new nurses came, right? Different shifts. New nurse came, and she was beautiful, like long black hair. She was beautiful, and her skin was like perfect. So she was like, I'm here to do the breathing test, and I was just like, okay. I was like, okay, because like I've been doing this for days, right? So she's like, I'm here to do the breathing test. So she gave me the tube and I breathed in it, and like always, like the rest of the test, I kept on getting a 3. I'm like, oh, whatever, because I was used to it, because like for the whole week I've been getting 3s. And then she's like, no, Luis. And I was just like, what? She was like, no, Luis, I know you can do this. I know you can. She's like, I want you to give it all you can. She was like encouraging me. She was like, give it all you can. You can do it. She's like, try the hardest you can possibly try. And I don't know what came in me. I don't know. Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do it. It's like her encouragement, like, and encouraged me to try the hardest. So she was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. So that I breathed the hardest that I've ever breathed. And I got a 10. I was so happy. My mom was so happy because the whole week she's been with me and I've been getting 3s. And then all of a sudden I'm getting a 10. And the nurse is like, see, I told you you could do it. And like me and my mom were just like so happy because me getting a 10 meant I was one step closer to leaving the hospital. So I was pretty excited, pretty happy that I got to leave the hospital. And then after like 30 minutes later, a nurse comes again. A different nurse comes. She comes, and then after she's like, I'm here to do your breathing test. I was like, She's like, I'm here to do your breathing test that we're supposed to do every 2 hours. She's like, I'm sorry I'm late. And then my mom's like, she just did it and she got a 10. And then the nurse is like, no, she didn't do it. I have the records right here. And it's been saying that Luis has been getting a 3 every time. I would have came earlier, but I got stuck with another patient. And my mom's like, no, Luis is tired. She just breathed and she got a 10. And the nurse is like, no, it's only me and this other guy on the floor. And my mom's like, no, can you go check? That doesn't make sense. Someone just came. And then the nurse could see my mom was frustrated. So she was like, okay, I'll check. But I know it's just me and this guy. So the nurse left. And then after she came back like 5-10 minutes later, and she's like, no, it's only me and this other guy on this floor. And then my mom and I were just like confused. We're like, huh? And she's like, the records even show Luis has been getting a 3. And the last one, I did it. And then she's like, my shift is not even over till 3 more hours. So there's no way you could have gotten a new nurse. and it's just this other guy nurse, and we were just looking at me and my mom were just like looking at each other like, huh? And then she's like, can you please do this test again? And I was just like, okay. And then after she's like, okay, so she gave me the tube and I breathed in it with all I got again because I was encouraged today. I was still on fire with the encouragement the other nurse gave me. And then I got a 10 again. And then the nurse is like, oh my gosh, wow, you kept on getting a 3 and you got a 10. And my mom's like, no, she got a 10 before. And then the lady's like, the nurse is like, no, according to the records, Luisa has kept on getting 3s. And then after she's like, there's no other nurse, it's just me and this other guy on this floor. And my mom and I were just looking at each other like, if it was just me, I would think I'm crazy. But my mom was in the room and she saw the lady too. And the lady's like, you can even check a poster board. It has a poster of all the nurses and you can point her out. So I'm like, okay. So I didn't want to look crazy, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to check the board. And I checked the board and I kid you not, guys. The lady was not on the board of nurses. And I'm like, have you guys updated this new nurse? And she's like, no. I'm like, did she dye her hair or something? They're like, no. She's like, no, I know all the nurses. And I was just like, I don't know. I'm like, am I going crazy? And I'm like, no, Louise, your mom saw the nurse too. So I went back in the room and she's like, okay, I'll be back in 2 hours. And then my mom's like, Louise. I'm like, yeah. She's like, Louise, that was an angel. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was an angel. The way the angel encouraged me to breathe the hardest, to tell me that, like, I had the strength to do this. Honestly, after that experience, guys, my faith elevated. It just showed me that God is with me still, and He will send angels to be by my side to protect me and to encourage me. And like, it just encouraged me. Like, I started trying my hardest to walk and stuff like that. I didn't even give up. And just like, guys, it's just a reminder that God is with us and angels are with us every day. Even though the enemy made me want to feel that I was so alone all the time, God was like, no, I'm always there and I'm going to send my angels there. If we look really hard, we will see God's presence there. We will see God there and we will feel God with whatever we experience. Like, that moment like changed my life because I'm not crazy. Even my mom was there too, right beside me. If my mom wasn't there, yeah, maybe I would have thought I was crazy, but my mom saw the lady too. And I'm just like, wow. So that just reminded me that God is with me and I'm not alone. And especially through the time of like going through the whole MS thing and everything, I did honestly feel alone at some points. But that experience, I just felt like, wow, God is with me. Like, wow, God is there. Like, it was honestly an amazing feeling. Like, honestly, no one can tell me God's not real, angels are not real. That was an experience that, like, that moment was one of the experiences that changed my life forever. Like, God was just showing me, like, Louise, I'm there, and I've never left you, and I sent angels to protect you and always be by your side. Like, you never know, us just walking down the street, you never know. An angel could be by your side. God has destined angels to protect us wherever we go, whatever we do. Like, we are honestly not alone. So, like, yeah, honestly, I wanted to share that experience. I'm like, I don't care how many people think I'm crazy or whatever. I just wanted to share that experience to show people, like, even though, like, right now you may be facing, like, the worst time ever and you think that you're so alone, if you lower the voices, the enemy's voice, and, like, look really hard, and listen really hard, you will hear God's voice, see angels. Like, we're not alone, guys, out there. We're honestly not alone. Like, it was honestly an amazing feeling. Like, I thank God for sending his angels to protect me wherever I go. So yeah, I just want to share that.